Wednesday evening, a group of Freedom Riders and the Honor Guard arrived here at this funeral home in Shawano with the remains of Private Herbert McLaughlin. I'm Perry Apostolakos, here to tell you the story of how Herbert arrived home for the first time in more than 80 years. He may have been gone from Shawano all this time, but Herbert McLaughlin was never forgotten. The Veterans of Foreign Wars post here carries his name and now houses his Purple Heart, turned over last month by Herbert's great-nephew, Dean Sayre. Tell me a little bit about maybe the family lore around your great-uncle Herbert.
The family lore, the oral history, if you will, was that he had been playing volleyball with his buddies on the night of December 6th and broke his nose, and had been taken to the hospital at Pearl Harbor the night before the attack.
Sayre just had to ask the people who confirmed his great-uncle's identity this year with DNA from a distant cousin if this was true.
And I asked them during the conversation, I said, can you tell me if he had a broken nose? And initially the woman said, well, no, I don't recall that. And then I told them the story, and she went back and she goes, oh my gosh, he did have a broken nose.
After spending decades in a national cemetery in Hawaii, Herbert's remains landed in Milwaukee Wednesday afternoon, greeted by the distant cousin, Susan Swinnick, whose DNA helped confirm Herbert's identity before being driven to Shawano.
That's quite a story when your namesake is returned from Pearl Harbor to Shawano.
For Saturday's funeral procession, VFW Post Quartermaster Philip Nelson says Herbert's remains will be carried down 5th Street in a horse-drawn military wagon, followed by a riderless horse, like many funerals at Arlington National Cemetery.
This is going to be a special occasion, which we're pulling out all the stops. We're trying to replicate what they do in Arlington as much as we possibly can.
With the family lore and Herbert's identity confirmed, Herbert's surviving relatives say they feel a sense of closure for Herbert's mother, who wrote letters to the War Department begging for her son's body to be identified and brought home. The VFW invites the entire community out to the funeral procession, which will begin here on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and end at the cemetery, where Herbert will finally be laid to rest at 11 o'clock. In Shawano, Perry Apostolakos, TMJ4 News.